I want to bring in right now Legislative Affairs Director for the Virginia Shooting and Sports Association. Mr. Dave Adams is with us on the program. Dave, how are you, sir?
Cam, I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you bet. So, listen, you heard the governor earlier today. You heard the Speaker of the House. I don't want gun owners in Virginia to think, oh, well, that's all right. The Speaker of the House says they're not going to debate any of these gun control bills. Listen, this should be a wake-up call to every gun owner in Virginia right now, that this is what the anti-gun advocates want to do. This is what they will do if they have the votes in the legislature. It may not be now, but it may be January if we don't get involved here.
You're absolutely right. And I'm telling you, there's more about politics than it is prevention in what the governor proposed today, because none of those bills, as you said just a couple minutes ago, would have stopped what happened on Friday night. The individual purchases firearms, I understand, a couple months apart. So one gun a month wouldn't have played into it. He went through background checks. So I'm not really sure what a, quote, universal background check would have done. There were handguns. They weren't rifles. So why are we talking about so-called assault weapons? This is all about politics and the election coming up on us in November. And gun owners need to wake up, because we could turn into New Jersey overnight if we do not get out there and vote and keep a pro-gun majority in both the House and the Senate.
Absolutely. Talking again with Dave Adams of the Virginia Shooting Sports Association. And, Dave, I don't know that the press is going to ask Ralph Northam too many tough questions about why it is he's proposing all of these bills that have come before, the lawmakers in Richmond for years now, when none of those things that he called for would have prevented this attack. In fact, you've got the police chief in Virginia Beach, who is also in favor of some gun control laws, but he acknowledges that none of those laws that he would like to see in the books would have stopped this attack. It's not like the governor just decided to do this out of the blue. He is using this attack in Virginia Beach. He is using the deaths of these 12 individuals in the days afterwards to call for the special session to pass these gun control laws that would not have stopped this attack. I got to tell you, Dave, it makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Bill Clinton. In the first term, he was not very popular. The Oklahoma City bombing occurred, and that turned his political career around in his first term of the White House. I don't doubt for a minute that this is on the mind of Governor Northam, too. He's had a tough 5 months in office, and now something like this occurs, and I think I just see shades of Bill Clinton all over again.
I suspect that you're correct. And now, listen, we don't know what's going to happen at the special session. I know that Kirk Cox, the Speaker of the House, said, listen, the governor can call us in, but he doesn't set the agenda. You talk, though, about the political backdrop to all of this. You know that anti-gun Democrats in the months before an election aren't going to be happy going into a special session and not getting to debate gun control. So they're going to try to pull every trick that they can in order to try to get these bills to have a hearing. They're going to try to portray Republicans as out of touch or greedy or beholden to the gun lobby. They care more about guns than about kids. They're going to try to use everything they can to get these bills up for a vote here so that they can then use those votes to attack lawmakers headed into the November elections.
Well, that's exactly right. And, to his point about wanting to have a full vote in both the House and the Senate, each one of the bills that he's proposed over the last 2 years got a full hearing in both the Senate Courts of Justice and in the subcommittee in the House. And people had an opportunity to get up and speak for and against those bills. In the end, the House killed them. But they were heard, and people got up and spoke, and legislators heard their viewpoint. So even if they're just heard in committee, it's not like the legislators are not letting the public have their voice on these bills.
What do you think? And I realize this is kind of speculation here, Dave. Again, we heard Speaker Cox talk about what he wants the House of Delegates to consider, which would be bills dealing with violent criminals, including mandatory minimums. Personally, I'd like to see some talk about mental health in Virginia, as long as we're coming back to, special session and talking about things that might actually have an impact here. I don't know that that's going to come up, but what do you think the political ramifications of this will be? I mean, Governor Northam, again, clearly feels like this is going to be a benefit to Democrats, many of whom are running as an outspoken anti-gun candidate. You, as the Legislative Affairs Director for the New Shooting Sports Association, what do you think this does to mobilize or to engage gun owners here in the Old Dominion?
I'm hoping it will get gun owners to get active. There are just a few districts in the Commonwealth that are competitive. The Democrats are targeting the Speaker's district for one, is one of the most competitive. It was redrawn after the courts were redid the House redistricting because of a challenge by some who thought that they were racially gerrymandered, and that case is currently before the Supreme Court. But in the meantime, the lower court redrew the districts. Gun owners need to get out there and support their legislators in both the House and the Senate that are supporting their right to keep and bear arms. And I think that this can have a positive effect for our rights if people will get active.
Dave Adams, Legislative Affairs Director with the Virginia Shooting Sports Association. I know we'll be talking again many times between now and November. In fact, we don't even know. Do we have a date for this special session yet?
No, we don't. He just said later this summer.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you again, sir. It's going to be a long, hot summer here in Virginia. Appreciate it. Dave Adams joining us here on Cam and Company.